We got to talk Kyrie because this thing is still unfolding. Today, many of the Nets key members, James Harden, Steve Nash, they all spoke for the first time since the decision was made not to let Kyrie play in road games since he's going to miss all the home games and not playing practices as well. But here was Steve Nash, Rob, on his comments on the situation.
I support the decision. A lot went into it. It's not easy, but we discussed all the possibilities and all the things that are going on, and if things change, we'd love to have Kyrie back. And in the meantime, we'll build and keep growing with this group.
Yeah, Rob, I mean, again, we both said it. Bravo to the Nets. We support the decision. They showed backbone. If they had let him play in Rogan, what are you doing?
And it would have been a disaster. People just don't get it because it would be Chris. The constant talk would be about him. Say they play the Lakers and it's in Brooklyn and he can't play, they lose to the Lakers. Hey, would you guys have been able to beat the Lakers if Kyrie played? You know what I mean? Like that's the conversation.
Absolutely. And it would have got on guys' nerves, and it just and I thought Sean Marks made an interesting point, Rob. And some people probably saw it as he's just trying to soften the blow for Kyrie or kiss up to Kyrie, whatever. But he also said it's really not that fair to Kyrie either. If you've been away from the team and then you throw him into the lineup here and there, it's a guy who already is injury prone. Now, he will be able to practice, so he could be in some type of shape. But it's just not. It's not. This is the NBA. This is professional basketball. And I want to make it clear, right? Even though we're both vaccinated and we think you should get vaccinated, at least I'm not so much killing Kyrie for his decision. He can do what he wants. He
can do whatever he wants. Everybody has the right. I have people in my family who won't get vaccinated.
I do too. Yeah.
I think they're Meshuggah. I think they're crazy. But they have to live with it, Chris. They have to do what they got to do. And ultimately, that's what happens. I'm going to protect myself. I don't know enough about science to make that decision and to reject when I saw 700,000 people die of COVID-related, illnesses, including a few friends of mine who shouldn't have been dead last year, who should not have been dead.
We know some of our friends in this business too. But it's all a part of news becoming somewhat politicized or largely politicized, right? You're getting different spins depending on what station you watch. And there's just so much information out there.
And a lot of false information as well.
Yeah, a lot of it's false, but a lot of people don't know how to tell what's true and what's false.
Just because it's on, it looks slick and it's put together and they put up the IDs that this guy's a doctor and all that stuff. I've seen so many, Chris, and they look all real. Hey, look, this is so-and-so. This is they're just making money off of us. Hey, this is about Bill Gates. Hey, this is about this guy. This is about It's incredible. So I could see how somebody could easily be caught up in that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but anyway, James Harden spoke today. Rob G, what was his quote? He did say he hasn't spoken to Kyrie since the decision was made. But, Rob, you got the quote from Harden today?
I got it for you guys
here.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
He did say he hadn't spoken to Kyrie directly since the announcement was made, but he did add, quote, Kyrie believes in his beliefs and he stands firmly. We respect it and we all love Kai. But we have a job to do, and individually myself, I'm still wanting to set myself up for a championship. The entire organization is on the same path.
And he also said we got, two pretty good leaders, even though we lost Kyrie, which they do. I still think it's going to look, them Milwaukee, we'll see if the Lakers get it together.
Right.
We'll talk about them later.
Nothing's a layup. But they have a good enough team, 100%.
Absolutely. So then beyond all that, Rob, Shams Charania said on a podcast just within the past few hours, if I'm not mistaken, that the Nets have the $186 million contract extension that the Nets were ready to offer Kyrie is no longer on the table. And I say, yeah, I guess not. You know what I'm saying?
But what contract extension could you give a guy? Right. I don't even think that this is like breaking news. How about common sense? Can we put up a thing that says common sense from Fox Sports Radio? Because that's what that is. He's not playing this year, right? Or he's not playing because he won't be vaccinated or whatever he needs to do. So we're going to dangle and sign him to a $186 million contract extension? Doesn't make sense.
Rob, I got to believe, I mean, if Kyrie's not going to be available this year, let's just keep it real. They'd rather he not be under contract right now.
Right, if they could help him.
Because they still are going to have to pay him roughly $17 million to just sit there and do nothing. And so as great as he is, and I think they're in their ideal world, he's playing. But if he's not playing, sure. I mean, look, Rob, I'll go this far. There's nothing Kyrie, if I ran the Nets, there'd be nothing he could do this year that would make me give him a contract extension during the season.
So if he came back in week 2, played, didn't miss any games, help you win a championship, you wouldn't be interested in him?
After that, yeah. After he does all that, yes.
Okay.
But my point is during the season, like, I'm
talking about after.
Kyrie,
I got you.
I've got to see him stay healthy.
Right. I'm saying if he played well, came back, was healthy.
I got to see him be available for every game, not take a week or two off for mental health issues or whatever he's got to step away from. Like, there's a lot of issues with Kyrie beyond just the vaccination.
No, I get it.
And so I've got to see him be steady for a year before I even consider it. And then if we win the championship and he played great, then I would consider it. But even then, I'd be a tad bit leery. But we'd see how it played out if everything went swimmingly. He's a great player, and he's still
the talent.
Too.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you put up with certain things if a guy is talented. We know that. Right. We talked about it yesterday. If you're a musician or a rock star or something or a rapper, and you're hard to deal with for the other people, but you're so talented, or you're a movie actor, Chris, and you're just a pain in the butt, right? Or a diva. They'll talk about you like a dog behind your back, but if you can produce when the lights go on, they'll usually take you.
Yeah. And the question would be, is Kyrie that level? I think he's awesome. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if I'd still put up, if I knew I had to deal with him not being available for weeks at a time, week at a time, things like that. Those are my questions. But the bottom line is, Rob, I don't see how anybody could think they'd offer him a contract extension at this point.
I agree.
I think his trade value is very minimal now. So that's what the next part of this story, beyond, of course, whether or not he gets vaccinated, is can you trade him?
Well, if Senator Ted Cruz had a team, I think that he would be traded. Did you see that down in Texas?
No, I didn't see. What did he say?
He said that the Rockets are looking for a guard or something. They'll take you. Yeah, like that was, he put it out on Twitter or whatever. Yeah, they traded
for John Wall. They would trade him for John Wall. And, if Wall went out and played this year and looked good, maybe, the Nets just don't need him. They just don't need John Wall. And he wouldn't fit with Harden as well as Kyrie because he's not as good of a shooter. But